Right, I think people will start to come in, but let's get cracking. This is the next but last session today. The last one being the closing remarks from Sheena, and then there are some exciting announcements and things for Sheena to say. But before we get there, we have another round of lightning talks, or as is appropriate, because there's now a giant light behind me, lightning talks, as they keep being spelled, which is good because they're illuminating. Our first lightning talk, yes, okay, that was on purpose. Our first lightning talk is by Keegan Tomlinson. His topic is Team Flu becoming open source and free. We will run with the same procedure as last time. It's exactly 5 minutes. When we get to 15 seconds, Laura and I have swapped. I'm doing the talking. Laura over there on the corner is doing the timekeeping. If she raises her hand, please indicate to our speaker we're 15 seconds out. If she starts applauding, please join in a thunderous applause. Right. Are we good to go? Let us begin, Keegan. Thank you.
I'm just here to do a bit more of a lightning announcement than a lightning talk. So Team Flu, one of our projects with regards to time management and sprint planning, has become free. So we've done 60 free seats for any account. All existing accounts have been upgraded. And we're also planning on going open source very shortly. So we are looking for some people to join the community. If you would like to join the community, you can follow this QR code there. That'll take you to our website. I will bring it back up in a second. Tabbing isn't working. Second. And once you're on our website, you can go to log in and then just click the Discord icon on the top corner. Perfect. Is there any questions? This is going to be very short, so I may as well see if there's any questions.
Nope. Other than we'll leave it up for the rest of the moment to get that QR code. Thank you. Thank you, Keegan. Yeah. Our next lightning talk in that case is Lebogang Latsoado. Lebogang, there we go. Thank you. Lebogang is talking to us about from learning to doing.
Alrighty, so hi, my name is Lebogang, and to those I had networked with, they told me that I could be a great public speaker, so this is my first time doing this. So if I do mumble, thank you. So not too long ago, I decided to dive into the world of tech. So I quit my job as an educator and just dived into SQL, Python, and the entire world of data. And it's been nerve-wracking. And my question now is, how do I go from getting the data, learning the data, to actually doing and being part of the community? And to do so, the best thing was to ask the community, as you guys kept on advising different advisors, like becoming a dev talker, like Mr. Bangham suggested. So if you guys don't mind, these are my questions that I have. How do I start building a confidence? How do I fight the imposter syndrome and finding my career path? And for your responses, because of the time, I got a QR code for you guys right there to respond. If there's any communities that you guys would like me to try out, you can definitely put them there. I'll give you guys a sec just to get the QR code for me. South Africa. All right, the next thing, just to say thank you to PyCon and actually giving my steps into this world. I created a QR code for feedback, guys. Please give your feedback and put it up there. I had a couple of ladies who basically said it would be lovely if we actually had the schedules pop up on our phones as a reminder, because they missed a couple of the sessions. So maybe that could be something that could be done for next year. Yeah, and if you don't mind, please scan the QR code. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lebogang. Right, our next speaker, and I've lost the place on my list, my apologies. Wano Zoe. Wano Zoe is talking about Imagine PyCon Zambia, and there we are. You don't need no laptop or anything. Okay, cool. Take it away, thank you.
Hi, my name is Wana Zoe or Wana Chomba. You can call me Wana, Zoe, Zozo, whichever one you want to. And I didn't have time to create a PowerPoint, so I'm just going to speak from the heart today, and I hope that I encourage anybody that's willing to come on board to help me, because I've learned so much. This is my first ever tech event. This is my first PyCon Africa, my first PyCon in general, actually. So yeah, I'm really happy to have connected with, thank you. I'm really happy to have connected with so many cool people, and I've gotten so many ideas. I'm new to Python, and I would really want to expand this community to Zambia. So yeah, this is more like an appeal for anybody who wants to come on board. I don't have a QR code, but I will post something on the Discord so that anyone who wants to connect, please connect with me. And yeah, I'll end this by just giving a quote. I don't even remember where I saw it, but it said that if you want to move fast, you should move alone. If you want to go far, you need to find a community, right? You need to move with people that will help you move forward. So I don't want to move alone. I want to build the community in Zambia, and I want more people to come on board so that we can, yeah, inspire everybody to be a part of this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. I'll grab that one now. Stay. Right, thank you, Wana. Our next speaker is Paul Ontong. Paul, you with? There we go. Paul speaking about Python in the trenches, from ERP to everyday impact, which sounds suspiciously like what I saw you talk about earlier.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. It's great to be here. My name is Paul Ontong, and I'm speaking on behalf of these two brands, Assure and Botlebokle brands. And I was speaking on this topic previously, but we didn't get to an important point of the topic, which is the fact that these two brands, whilst you might not know them, are trying to be more involved in the community. And we're going to be hosting a hackathon at the end of November. And we'd really love people from this community to be part of that. So I'm going to give you a bit more context to these businesses and who they are. The hackathon is open to everybody and anybody. We currently have an 18-year-old who we've recently hired in an engineering role. So David, you and your daughter, we welcome you to join Lebogang talking about a community. It'd be great to have you there. About these businesses. So Assure is to BBB what businesses like ShopriteX X are to Shoprite. So we know these retail brands, Shoprite, the Foschini Group, and Dis-Chem, and I'm assuming some of you know about ShopriteX X, the Foschini Labs, and X-Bigley Labs. Assure is the technology spin-out of a retail business called Botlebokle Brands. If you don't know who Botlebokle Brands is, I'm not surprised because you're not quite our target market. But Botlebokle Brands is an impact-based business that uses catalogs like the old Tupperware model, which you might be familiar with because maybe your aunt or your grandmother or somebody like that would have sold one of these products. But we really pride ourselves as an impact business. At the moment, the product catalog has over 3,200 unique products. There are over 58,000 people who sold at least one of these products and made income last month, and we currently move over 1 million products. Why is that relevant for a PyCon? Well, it's relevant because everything that is supporting these people from a technology perspective is actually built on Python. When we joined the business had legacy infrastructure. We were running only an accounting package, we were using Excel, and we actually still had an ADSL line in about 2019. We've decided that we needed to enter into a digital space. We wanted to provide more products outside of physical products, including things like insurance and airtime to this community. And in order to do that, we needed to build a different back end. So when looking at traditional backends, we were not willing to get stuck on a custom Windows desktop app using SQL Server only, no APIs. We didn't want vendor login. We did explore some of the more traditional systems like a Microsoft Dynamics, Salesforce, and SAP. None of that made sense. So we chose Odoo, which is actually an open source Python-based ERP, and we've modularized and customized that a lot. Why that's important is because we're trying to fight against poverty, and we want to do that with technology, not only with these physical products. So we've built a foundation on Python using Odoo, but we're entering into this digital space, and we're looking for people to help us join and develop digital technologies that these 58,000 people can sell. So we've got a funeral insurance product. We launch our own MVNO next month, but we're looking to offer value-added services like airtime, electricity, and wireless devices. We're looking to get into the finance sector with digital wallets, if that interests you, and we're also looking to extend our range of insurance products. So if fintech or these types of things excite you and you like Python and you want to have an impact, we really encourage you to be part of the hackathon. The hackathon is going to be taking place late November, early December. We do not yet have a finalized date. There will be lunch and drinks provided, and there will be cash prizes in the tens of thousands for the winning teams. Like I said, it's open to everybody and anyone, and we encourage you to scan those QR codes, give us your details, we'll then keep you updated. And if you want to read more about the impact the business is making, you can access our 2024 Impact Report. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Our next lightning talk is Connor Schmitz, who I know is here. He does have to now actually say things. He submitted the talk, now he has to give it. The topic being frequent foot guns.
Okay, so I work in a company, I will talk about it later, where we have a lot of different developers swapping between languages. And among that is dealing with people of all sorts of different levels when it comes to writing Python. And because of that, and being the person that everybody asks for help, I run into things where people go, this doesn't seem right, when Python is doing something correct, as far as its docs make sense, but the intuition just isn't there. So the first thing is class variables. Class variables are very, very useful when you want to have constants or otherwise. So for example, I have a meal, there's a cheese of the day that I want to be able to update on every single instance without going to some effort. This is probably not the best way to do this, but I have seen it done. And I also have an update method that lets me set up a specific meal with something. So each instance might have something specific. But then I also have an outside of the class method that updates the general class variable. This seems fine until you realize that as soon as you update a meal, you can't change the cheese of the day. And that is because as soon as you do that self-assignment, it becomes an instance variable, and that makes it immediately no longer reference the class variable. So suddenly your use case is half broken, and your updates don't work. That is something that has happened to us a couple of times. It is very annoying to debug. After that, Java developers love this one, as do C# developers, whenever they see Python and they think, I want a private variable. And when we say we don't have that, the answer is, what? No. And then they go Google and they hear about class private names. For those of you that don't know, if you double underscore prefix something on a class, but then don't double underscore prefix the end, Python will go and mess with your name. It will go add the class name to the actual name that gets referenced, and it does this transparently when you look these things up. This seems great. What happens if I use a subclass? Well, this looks like it'll work fine. We have a find method that goes and finds something, and then we have a slightly different subclass that uses it, and yeah, we can run it, and oops, this isn't unfortunately showing the actual error here, but the name lookup doesn't work because the class is there, and the class name is the parent class. So when you try to look up the method, it blows up because, well, that method doesn't exist because that name doesn't exist. And this is very, very annoying to debug, and it is even more annoying to explain to anybody when this is very, very unintuitive. And that's about all I've got. So here's why you should maybe listen to me. I help on Liber.chat. I work for BMW IT Hub, which has a big bunch of Java devs, a big bunch of Python devs all mixed together. In my specific team, we have a lot of Java devs, a lot of Python devs, all hopping between things. And that is really all I've got.
Oh, thank you, Connor. Thank you very much. See, that wasn't so bad. Connor was saying to us he was going to be quite nervous, but that wasn't obvious at all. So, no, nicely done. Seriously, yeah. Our next talk is by Sean February. Sean, there we go, there's Sean. His topic is, no, I've lost it. Localized cloud is lekker. If lekker is not a word you understand because you are not a South African, it's Afrikaans for very nice.
What of my talk?
Oh, my apologies. I've blown it, sorry. Awesome. Great, thank you, Sean.
Right, thanks everyone. Afternoon, my name is Sean, and yeah, I'm not unfortunately born in that month of my surname. I'm a self-proclaimed senior cloud engineer. Yeah, because I'm actually a qualified astrophysicist, way out of my league, but here I am. I'm here to tell you about some, firstly, local terminology. We have a word or a phrase in our country called local is lekker. And one of the lekker things I want to tell you about, well, it means a celebration of our local culture and products. And one of the products we are building at the Center for High Performance Computing, and more widely the National Integrated Cyber Infrastructure System, quite a mouthful, is a cloud service. So one of the cool things we're doing is providing free cloud services to academics in the South African community. We have now 2 sites deployed, and also we offer a tiered service to commercial clients. And if you want to find out more information, please scan that QR code. I can also post some of this in the Discord as well. But this is my first lightning talk, so I don't know how much time we're going to get through this, but let's see. So just about what's under the hood is using open source technology, mainly built in Python as well. So the cloud is run by OpenStack. And just to give you some of the basics, we have computes, typically what you find under the hood of all of these cloud services are dedicated compute services, things to manage networking. This one is called Neutron in this platform, identity, Keystone, and etc. So all of this is using open source, open source community, and it's very lively, and it updates, packages quite often. The latest release came out a few weeks ago, I think. And if you're interested, I'm not sure you can pick up that QR code in contributing to the source code. That's how you can get involved. So once you do apply for resources, you can be exposed to this web interface. So one of the components of OpenStack is Horizon, and it presents you with a dashboard where you can create your virtual resources. Personally, I don't use it too often when creating resources. I'll tell you what I use in the next slide. But it serves as a nice way to just click through and visualize what you have created and what resources you're consuming, how much quota you're using, etc. So it's quite a nice interface. What I tend to use is Terraform, and that is an infrastructure as code approach. Unfortunately, not written in Python, it's written in Go. But if you want to stick to your Python framework, you can obviously import a Terraform module in Python and go crazy. So with this example I'm showing you here, it's quickly just to create a Kubernetes cluster. So just build all these resources that the Kubernetes sort of cluster will be deployed on top of. And in this case, I'm creating 3 controller nodes, 3 management nodes, in other words, and 3 compute nodes. And all of this is described in code. You can manage it instead of clicking through. This will scale a lot better than the dashboard, of course. And once you execute the Terraform, if you also want to automate this more, you can. This code was set up in GitLab. It has built-in CI/CD. You could also describe your stages of your builds and automate this with infrastructure as code. And voila, hopefully at the end of the day, you can create and visualize. This is a snapshot from the dashboard, what you would end up with in your OpenStack resources. So that's just showing you some network layers that you have created. Previously, you would have created routers to connect your instances to the public, so you can access them. But yeah, that's just a flavor for what you can expect when you have your resources on OpenStack. And that's it. If you'd like to chat more about this lekker stuff to me, please come and find me. Thanks.
Good. Good. Just whack it on the podium, thanks. In keeping with the lekker part, ek sal dankie sê, Sean. Baie dankie, ja. Speaker after Anastasia is Moyo Haba Robotata. My apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. I can't quite see it with my glasses on, but I can't see the rest of you without my glasses on. So here's Moyo Haba, Women in Tech and AI is the topic. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you guys saw me yesterday, I was wearing this t-shirt, white, with a very beautiful African woman. I just wanted to show it, but now I can't find it. So, and someone was asking me, a lot of people asked me about it. What is this? What is this? How is different with other women in tech? So I was wearing Women in Tech and AI. That it's a sort of a community or a foundation that is helping African women that wants to pitch their startups or take their startups to another level. It's offered by the OCP Foundation, UNESCO, and the Polytechnic University, Mohammed VI Polytechnic University in Morocco. So what they give is they give you 6 months training. You don't have to have any basic programming and anything. You just have to have an idea that will solve any of the sustainable development goals, and you are good to go. So they'll provide you with training for the whole of 6 months, and then you have one full paid visit to Morocco, to one of the most beautiful universities I've ever seen in the whole world. Yeah, so, and then you pitch your startup there, and then you find angel investors, and yeah, your idea might come to life. But more than anything, you will sharpen your skills. So if there's anyone who's, any African women that want to do more information about that, then they can see me after here, and then I can give them the details. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is my apologies, Mveni Donald. Mveni, there he is, thank you, is speaking about how I use Python in my day-to-day affairs.
Hello everyone, my name is Veni Donald Mbutu. I'm from Cameroon. My tech name is the Cyber Priest. That sounds like the chief high priest in a shrine. Actually, I have a startup in Cameroon called the Cyber Priest Solution. There we try to solve problems that come from various local companies. When they come with their cyber problems, we try to solve them. Today, I'm going to be talking about how I use Python in my day-to-day affairs. Most often, I don't just get up and create a Python application. It comes about when I face a problem, maybe trying to solve a particular problem that's been given to me, or I have a task that I'm performing at a particular time, then I find something challenging, I decide to just create a Python application. I remember I had an issue once. I was given a PDF file that had a lot of mathematical constructs and diagrams and images, a lot of graphics. So I was going to convert it to a document, a Word document. When I did it, the output was nothing close to what the PDF was actually. So I tried to get some online tools. I had to pay some money, and to me it was very expensive. So I just decided to create an application, and the app was really great. The library that I used was Converter from PDF2, and that was very marvelous. Another instance was the use of PDF Merger and Flask to come to merge PDF documents. A friend of mine sent me some documents, some PDF documents that had many pages, and he was trying to put them together. He found it challenging, so when he sent it to me, I was like, how do I go about it? And I decided to just write a small application, and I was able to do it. In another instance, I had to instead split a PDF document into different sections, and I use PDF Reader and PDF Writer, both from PyPDF2 package. And I remember once I was going to submit a certain work that was based on data science, and I was working with some people that were in different locations around the world. They gave me they sent their work to me, and I was going to merge them. Their works were in the interactive Python notebook, and merging the work was really challenging to me. I went online to see if I could get the various tools that were there. some of them were payable, and most often I don't just like to buy, I don't know, maybe I'm stingy, I don't know. So I decided to write my own application, and I was able to solve that problem. And the main library that I used was MB format. And in another instance, I was trying to convert the interactive Python notebook to a PDF and to other formats, and I still use NB format. And when it comes to CTF, when I'm faced with things like cracking passwords, at times I can go to Kali Linux, I use John the Ripper, but most often I just prefer to build my own application, and when I do that, they usually work well for me. So I usually do this in my various CTF, and the libraries I use, Subprocess and AgPass. I remember there was a time when I was trying to build an application for a company, a microfinance company that we have in Cameroon. They had been faced with a lot of cyber threats coming from the direction of phishing emails. They usually send phishing emails to their workers, and the workers per se, they have not really been instructed or educated on how to handle emails. So most often when they see the link, they will just click. So to solve that problem, I had to build an application where when you install it in your phone, it's going to be doing regular screenshots or snapshots. And when a message comes, as you open it, it's going to scan it's going to do a screenshot of the of your interface, and it's going to extract all the text that is there, and it's going to analyze it. If there is a URL, it's going to go through a process, a machine learning algorithm that I built. It's going to go through it, and it's going to check whether it's phishing or not. And if it's phishing, it's going to mark it as phishing, but it's going to give you room to click on it or not to click on it. And if the administrator decides that nobody is going to be able to click for any URL that has been marked phishing, it's going to do so. And to achieve that, I was able to use the library PyTestRack, and that was really good. And I think the company was very happy with that. And there are other things that we'll be doing. Thanks very much. If you want to get connected with me.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Benny. Clearly there's a lot of stuff to be said there.
Yes.
That was very good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Our next lightning talk is Zhao Futi. My apologies if I've mispronounced that. Am I right? Okay. Zhao, okay. Yeah, Zhao will be speaking to us about the PyBeginners Roadmap. Learn Python with clear goals. You want to just grab the mic?
Yeah. Okay. Hello? Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Start?
Thank you, Zhao.
Yeah.
You can start.
Okay. Now? Okay, we go. Yeah. Hello, guys. My name is João. I'm from Angola. So, while I talking, maybe you guys will not get my English because English is my second language. So, I'll fight with it. Okay? Yeah. So, during the conference, okay, a lot of people here saw that a lot of cool things that we can do with Python, like AIs, creating websites, creating games with Python. Okay, but many people, most of them that I was seeing, they are kind of beginners. Okay, some of them they will kind of asking themselves, how can I start with these things? Okay, so when I saw that, I decided, okay, let me give some light talking for beginners only. Okay, so that they can understand how they can start Python with a goal. So my talk will be about like learn Python with clear goals. Okay, so it's like that. So in order for you, if you want to start Python, first, oh, it's not going. Okay, first you need to understand the base of Python. So whatever language, programming language that you are planning to start, it's very important for you to understand the basics. Because if you understand the base, whatever thing that comes in front, it will be very easy for you to make use of it. Okay. So what are the basics of Python? The basics of Python are I can say those things. Okay, but there are more stuff, but in very short way, those are the things that you really need to know about Python basics. So after that, it's very important for you to do some exercise and projects in Python. So exercise, you need to do some exercise that cover the basics of Python. And when you finish those exercises, it's very important for you also to try to create some projects in Python. Which type of project that you can do? Just do projects like desktop apps by using Python. And Python, he has some kind of cool libraries that you can use to create some desktop app. So I will suggest you, for example, you can try Tkinter, custom Tkinter or Flat. But if you are really complete beginner, just go with Tkinter. That will be very easy for you, and you will not struggle. And by doing also some projects, you will try to, how can I say, you will try to test your knowledge that you learned from Python basics, and you'll try to make it in practice, okay, like creating some stuffs with it. Then after that, it came something that I call like intermediate and advanced topics in Python, okay? Because to be honest, no one knows if those things are advanced or intermediate, but I will think that is like advanced. So here, you don't need to study everything, because most of the things there, you only use it when you need them. But the only thing that you really need to study is object-oriented programming and virtual environment. These two, they are really very important for you as a beginner, okay? To try to understand those topics. And remaining things, you just study it by need. For example, if you are doing something, and if you need something that uses Lambda, study about Lambda, make use of it, and forget it. Don't need to remember, or else you will go crazy. Then, after you finish everything, you need to set your goal. The most of mistake that I used to see for most of people, they try to start everything at the same time, okay? And that is a big mistake, and you'll get burnout. After burnout, it's very difficult to recover from that. So you can just choose one of them, try to master, because it's like if you understand one of these very well, easily you can jump into another one. That will be very easy for you. And don't forget, okay? Programming is a continuous journey, okay? Just keep exploring, experimenting, and grow your skills. That's all.
Thank you, Zhao. Our final lightning talk, and we are almost out of time, but we're going to squeeze in one more just because we can, is Jeremy Thurgood, who is going to speak about words that aren't code, which is lots of them.
Once upon a time, there was a little boy whose head was full of stories. And then he tried to write some of these stories down because other people deserve some of these stories as well. And he wrote down a story. And he wrote a beginning, and he wrote a little bit of some middle, and then he didn't know where it went next. And he tried this over and over again with lots of different kinds of stories. And then he grew up, and he grew a big beard, and that beard slowly started going gray. I have always wanted to be a storyteller, to write books, to write stories. When I was young, my favorite aunt used to tell bedtime stories that she would make up on the spot. Myself and my siblings were usually the main characters. And then as my little sister fell asleep, the stories shifted into something more suitable for two boys. And once I was older, I eventually heard the ends of the stories. And she never ended her stories with, and they all lived happily ever after, because that's not how the world works. Her stories ended with, and they all went home to get a good night's sleep before tomorrow's adventure. That's kind of how I've been living my life ever since then. So, stories are about communication. So is software. You need to communicate in great detail, step by step, so that even a computer can understand what you want it to do. At a higher level, you need to communicate with other humans to make sure that you're building what's actually needed and figuring out what the problems are so that you can solve them. And I learned how to do all of that. I learned how to give conference talks and lightning talks and things. What I never learned to do was actually finish a story. Until one day I saw a 500-word flash fiction challenge. Can you write a story in 500 words or less? Being me, I'm not going to do the or less. I'm going to hit exactly 500. Why waste a word? And it turned out that adding a constraint like that was really useful. 500 words isn't long enough to get lost in the middle. So I finally managed to finish stories. They were very short stories, but it gave me, now that I finished something, I now had a better idea of how to finish stuff. And I now have something like 130,000 words in finished stories. The longest is less than 5,000 words. So lots of short stories. I still haven't mastered the art of long stories. But communication is important. If you have stories to tell, tell them. If you can't figure out how to tell them, treat it like a programming problem. Add constraints. Refactor your prose. Refactoring is more useful for poetry, actually. I discovered that I can do that as well. It's a really interesting intellectual exercise to find 17 words that rhyme with free. And that's it. I'm now a storyteller and a programmer, and I even learned how to do some visual arts. And if I can do it, anyone in this room can do it. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Jeremy.